Sorry, I got distracted. I got Bella down here trying to get up, and the cat's walking in my face, and I'm doing a little trim work. And hi, good morning. How's everybody doing? You know, good morning, Janice. Good morning. Um, you excited for this Wednesday night? Yeah, so am I. All right. So, uh, a lot of what I do here. Good morning. I'm terrible with names. I know I say I write them down, but then I forget where I write them. Good morning, Diane. We need a name. All right, just type it in there. And I got my little postie here. Okay. All right, so a lot of what I do here is based on things I see in. It was good to see you too. Diane. Good morning, Barb. Diane and I were uh, were logged into the Happy Japan maintenance webinar yesterday, and it was a Zoom. It is Capricia. It was a Zoom webinar where Rene Rosales. He's one of the people at TexMac, was showing us different things and how to fix things and do things, and it was great. I'm glad to hear he'll be doing more of this, more machine specific. I'm excited to get into the HCU2 group. Good morning, Barb. And Capricia, thank you. Um, Honestly, when I saw it, I thought it might be K, Apricia, and then 3187. K being a first initial. But yeah, I should be able to remember that. Thank you. Who else have we got in here? Letty! Letty's part of my morning story. Um, Jessie is here. Good morning, Jessie. And good morning, Everly. God, look at this. Everybody, hello, everybody. Yeah, Diane, it was. And I'm glad he's doing it in a Zoom format because then I can record it and look at it later if I need to. There was a time they weren't using that format, so I'm glad that they are now. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, anyways, like I was saying, a lot of what I do here is based on things that I see in conversation, in Facebook chat, in Discord chat. And one of the questions that came up earlier this week was regarding those freestanding 3D puff letters, right? Yeah, we've seen some of that. And the question was, how does that work? When you rinse off the stabilizer on the back, how does it hold together? So I was going to do a whole thing on that. And then when I went to go publish it, I realized I'd already done that. Yeah, it's already in the videos. So if you ever need to look at it, Everly, the Zoom that I was participating in yesterday was for Happy Japan embroidery machine maintenance. If you have a Happy machine, go to their website and look under the events, and you'll see a whole list of things that they're doing. Um, so yeah, I'd already, and it's like I told Letty, um, I have the memory of a goldfish. Yeah, I know. So I'm scrambling. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then Letty, like I said, she's part of my morning story today. Letty said, "Well, what about those puff keychains, key fobs, bag tags, charms?" that are, you're welcome, Evelyn, that are, floating around there. And I popped up a video that we had seen, and she said, yes, those. So that's what we're going to do today. Here we are. Um, these are what I'm going to show you today. Uh, is inspired by Blue Gem Embroidery. Let me bring her up in here. Here she is. Yay. Blue Gem Embroidery. She's got a handful of designs here. She also does some education. But these actually are quite popular. Those sports pieces, you add the number of your favorite sports athlete, and proud moms, aunties, uh, the girls, they have a cheerleading, the flags. And what this is, now these can be done either, your straight flat key fob following her instructions, or what she's been doing lately is 3D, meaning she's put 3D foam between the layers to puff it up. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put this together, and we're going to use both. I'm going to do this in Wilcom. Hi, Joanne. I'm glad you're here. We're going to do this in Wilcom, but I'm also going to do it in Brilliance, because in Brilliance, it's a different kind of pathing that you need to do to get there. So I want to do it both ways. Now, within Brilliance, you're going to need Enthusiast, because you're going to need the knockdown stitch. And you're going to need at least Stitch Artist 1. It's basic. But here, let's go ahead and get started. The reason, just to go back, yes, you could buy design files from Blue Gem Embroidery. You could buy design files from anywhere. But what I wanted to do was to take a design file that I already had, because we all have a collection. I wanted to take the design file that I already had and do this. Make a bag charm, a zipper pull, a key fob, whatever you want to call this. I wanted to do this using files that I already had. So let's drop this and let's bring this. So this is the file. I have a whole collection of sock monkeys. In our area, the Red Hill sock was first manufactured in Rockford, Illinois, and as a promotion, it's $5. Did I miss something? Evelyn, what's $5? Unless you weren't talking to me, that's fine. I try to keep up with the comments. Anyways, history of the sock monkey. And the Red Hill sock, as part of a promotion, there was a pattern set included with every package of Red Hill socks that included instructions on how to use a pair of socks to make a sock monkey or an elephant. I never made the elephant, but I've made hundreds of sock monkeys. The Red Hill socks are still out there. They're no longer manufactured in Rockford, Illinois, which is where I am, by the way. They're no longer manufactured here, but we still carry the name proudly. All right, so here's my sock monkey. Now, the one thing you'll notice is that this sock monkey is completely and full. Yes, Letty, sock monkeys. Grandmas make sock monkeys. You gotta have a sock monkey. Oops. Um, so this sock monkey, again, I have a whole collection of them. Let me just bring this up a little larger. This sock monkey is fully filled. Now, anybody that's worked with foam knows that if you put a lot of stitches into something, it's just going to squish the foam down. And then it's going to be like, why bother? So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to decide what we're going to keep and what we're going to get rid of. So we're going to get rid of all of the brown because we know sock monkey is brown. So we're going to get rid of all the brown. We're also going to get rid of all the white. The white, it's cute, but it's not necessary. We're going to keep the red because, that's what identifies it as a sock monkey. And we're going to keep the detail of the clothing, right? The bow, the skirt, the ballet shoes. We're going to keep all of that. Now, the other thing we need a method to hold the chain or the clip, whatever we're going to use for our bag tag. So we're going to take and we're going to make a circle. And the circle, because it's going to be filled with stitches, needs to be about a 1/2 inch in size. And we're going to make that a run stitch. And we're going to, like I said, make that about a 1/2 inch. Let me just double check this. It's only a 1/4 inch. All right, maybe not a full 1/2 inch. Let's see what we get here. And we're going to center it above our project. We're going to go back to making this whole thing fit. And then we're going to use an offset tool because we want the design portion to be in the center, and then we need a space to put our cover stitch. All right, so I'm going to select this whole thing. And most all digitizing software has an offset, or I don't know, some of them call it a blowout. What they do is it will put a line, it'll put a stitch around the whole design away from the actual edges. So that's what we're going to do here. And oops, we're going to get this back into millimeter. I know I pop between inches and millimeter, but I like to actually create things in millimeter because I know mentally what that is. Now, we do not want an edge run. We do not want an outline. So we're going to delete that. And we're going to create an offset. And this offset is set for 5 millimeters. And it is set for a run stitch. Okay. I'm going to change its color so you can see it. There we go. So now, again, I'm going to fit this. Now, this technique uses an applique technique. Actually, it's kind of a double applique because you have the front and you have a back. So you're going to need a placement stitch. Then you're going to need a tack down stitch, which I use a triple run for a tack down stitch. And then in between this, you're going to stitch all of your design. Stitch, 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 stitch. Let's put the rest of this down here below our tack down stitch. And then once this is all stitched, you need another tack down stitch because at this point you're going to put, good morning, Cindy, you have a great day with the family. Cindy had a family reunion, if you guys hadn't seen that. So you're going to put your back fabric on the back, and then you're going to need to tack that in place. So you're going to need another tack down stitch. So again, I'll use a triple stitch for that. All right. Once that is done, you're going to pull the hoop off of the machine and you're going to trim away all that excess fabric. I know, I haven't talked about foam yet, have I? I will, I promise. And then when that's all done, we need a cover stitch to cover those raw edges. So we're going to make another stitch here. We're going to call this a satin stitch. And if I'm doing this myself, I want to change the satin stitch to a .30. I want to have a double zigzag. Excuse me, I want an edge run and a double zigzag underlay. And I do this just to make sure that everything is secure. Oh, don't forget this piece here. Yep. We don't necessarily need it in the tack down, but we will need it in, what am I saying? We will need it in the cover stitch. So, let me get that in there too. Control the, and make that color, and make that, there we go. And again, it needs to be the same density and the same underlay configuration as our satin stitch, as our satin cover stitch. Okay, so we have our design created, right? Now we're going to take it to the machine. Okay, at the machine, we're going to hoop. Let me come back up here. We are going to hoop our wash away backing. If you're using the fabric like Veline type stabilizer backing, you're going to want 2 layers. You want to be able to support all of this, and you know it'll wash away, so you know, no big deal. You want 2 layers. If you're using Badge Master, you'll want to lay in Badge Master. So you're going to hoop your wash away, your Badge Master, your Veline, whatever you're using, you're going to hoop that by itself. You're going to stitch your placement stitch and stop the machine. After the placement stitch, stop the machine. Then you're going to lay in your foam, and I still like to use a 3mm dense. You're going to lay in your foam, and you're going to lay your fabric over the top of that. Now, you want to make sure that they stay smooth and stay in place. So one of the things I did, and now I don't have it with me. Hold on, let me see if I can find it for you. Temporary fabric glue. I know, you could do the spray, but I want to show you something that I've been doing that I was afraid would be too thick and would just gum everything up. But it didn't. I was so impressed. And it went on kind of goopy, you know, kind of heavy. But, and I was afraid it would goop up the needles, but it didn't. I used glue stick. It's a 505 glue stick. It goes on blue, but then it turns clear. It goes on blue so you know where it's going, and then it becomes clear. And then, if you need it to, it washes out. I like this. Yes, I have temporary spray in the house also, but this was nice. I put the glue on the the foam, and then I smooth the fabric over the top of it. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So at this point, we have our placement stitch, we have laid our foam with our fabric over the top of that, and we are now going to stitch our design. All of this. We are going to stitch, come along, all of this. Okay? Once all of this is stitched, of course you can't see it because I'm the focus here. Once all of this has stitched, and now I'm going to get rid of it because, you know, we don't need to. Oh, silly me, silly me, silly me. There we go. We are, yeah, it is really good, Evelyn. Evelyn was commenting on the glue stick. Once you get your design stitched, again, you're going to stop the machine and you're going to lay in your back fabric. Whatever fabric you're using, you're going to lay that in. You're not going to have to trim anything yet. Let's wait. No sense in doing double the work, right? So lay that in and stitch your next tack down, right? That one here. That's going to hold that back fabric in place. Now we take the hoop off the machine and we trim away the excess fabric on the front and we trim away the excess fabric on the back. Don't worry about the foam yet. Leave the foam. Foam's fine. My first sock monkey, I sat and tried to pull that foam off before I went to the satin stitch, and it was a little rough. Okay, it was a lot of rough. So don't bother pulling the foam yet. You don't have to. Once you have all your trim work done, you're going to put everything back on the machine and you're going to stitch your cover stitches. Stitch, 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 stitch. Letty, yes, glue stick. And there's others. There's others. Just Google search fabric adhesive glue stick or temporary fabric adhesive glue stick, and you'll come up with a couple of different ones. So now we have our satin cover stitch. We're going to take everything off the you don't have to, I just had a thought. You don't have to use a water soluble in your hoop. You can use tearaway. But again, 2 layers. Use 2 layers. For the same reason. You're just going to, it'll pop right out when you're done, which will leave the foam in place. And the foam, because you have your cover stitch, and your cover stitch uses a bit of a heavier density, it just tears off. Nice. You just punch out the hole and you're done. All right. Everybody got that? If you have any questions, pop them up and I'll go back. But I want to make sure that I show you how to do this in Brilliance, because like I said, it's a little bit of a different steps to create the file. And I want you to have that information. Remember, you need to have the essentials for the knockdown stitch. That's why you need the essentials for the knockdown stitch. And you need to have Stitch Artist 1, because remember, we have to make this circle, right? And then we also have to create all of our um, placement tack down stitches along with our satin cover stitch. So that's why you need the two different modules in Brilliance. Let's go over there now. And again, our favorite little ballerina sock monkey. Yeah, there she is. And just like in the other software, we're going to delete some pieces. We're going to delete all the brown. We're going to delete all the white. And that's going to leave our red and our shoes and our skirt and bow, which is exactly what we want. Then we're going to pop over to Stitch Artist 1. Come on. To get our circle, we're going to make a circle. Again, it needs to be about a 1/2 inch. Place it. Come along. Give it back. Thank you. Place it where you want it and make it a run stitch. Let's go ahead and make that a black run stitch, just like everything else. Color, color, and black. All right, now we have our circle, we have our monkey. We need to go back to Enthusiast. Oh, come on. Yeah, I know. I should know this program inside and out. We're going to select our whole design, and then we're going to create a knockdown stitch around it. Add knockdown stitching. We're going to inflate. We're going to balloon. We're going to offset by 5 millimeters. Okay. And you can see that this has created this whole offset here, right? But we don't want an offset. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back into Stitch Artist 1 and we're going to make this a run stitch. And then again, we're going to change its color so that you can see it. And now we have our same run stitch. Okay, now we can copy and paste to make all of our other stitches that we need. So we copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. We have a placement stitch. We're going to take this one all the way up here. We're going to make it a different color. We now have our tack down stitch, but we want to make that a different stitch type. We want to make that a triple. No, we want to make that a triple. Come back here. Stitches, color, preferred. Come on, where is it? I know it's in there somewhere. Why do you think this is not a run stitch? It's in here somewhere. We want to make that a triple run. Place it where we need it. Make it a triple run for our first tack down. Then we want to take this all the way to the bottom. And this one move to last. Oh, we forgot to, we need 2 more of these. And You need to take one of these and move it all the way to the top. Move to first. Move later so it's down below. Come along, little doggy. What happened to the rest of them? Okay, I know, I'm focused here. We're going to copy and paste this one. In this last one, we know is going to be a satin. And it won't let me change it. What did I do wrong? Okay, it can work. I know it can work because I did it yesterday. You know, I don't work every day in Brilliance, so it gets a little tricky for me. All right, hold on a second. Joanne, when did you trim the hanger hole? Oh, with the other trimming, when you're trimming your excess fabric, you're going to get in there and trim around that hole on both the front and the back. Thank you, Diane. Yeah, sorry, dogs. They think they're trying to play with the cat. Yes, Evelyn, save the video. It'll always be on my channel. It'll be there for you anytime you need it. Letty uses the glue sticks. I'm sorry, not Letty. Letty uses the glue sticks. Yeah, I kind of, and like I said, I was afraid it would gum up the needles, and it didn't. And yeah, I like the 505 brand too. I like those. I like the glue sticks. Okay, so whatever I did, like I said, I must have done something wrong because it worked yesterday. I know it worked yesterday because I have the evidence. But you need to use an offset stitch, or I'm sorry, you need to use the knockdown stitch from Enthusiast to get your offset, to create that into a line, a run stitch, and then copy and paste to create your multiple tack down placement stitches. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, Diane, I didn't know about the glue stick either. I went to, I believe it was Applique Getaway last year, and I took one of Lisa Shaw's classes, and she suggested the glue stick for applique work. I thought that was wonderful. All right, and with that, we now have our puffed bag charm, bag hanger, key fob, whatever you want to use it for. And we used our own designs, design files that we already have. Oh, Janice. Janice is one up on all of us. She uses a washable Elmer's glue stick. Who knew, right? Who knew? You guys are all such smart cookies. Yeah. Okay, so what have I got coming up? Not too much. Wednesday, we start our digitizing class. Janice is going to be part of that. I got butterflies roaming around here. because I'm nervous. What else have I got going? Yeah, couple of big jobs coming up. Um, my brother has a surgery next month. It doesn't fall on a Wednesday, but it might fall into a Saturday. His surgery is on a Thursday. It's 100 miles away. It's in a specialized hospital. And if I can't make it, I will let you know. But other than that, we'll see you all next week. If you have any questions, thank you, Jesse. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email. Good morning, Lisa. Lisa, we can't leave yet. Lisa, we were just talking about you. Yes, we were. We were talking about you and let me see if I can bring it back up. Nope, I must have deleted it. And glue sticks. Yeah. Fabric, temporary fabric adhesive glue sticks. As I recall, it came from you in one of the classes you were teaching, and it was exciting, and I did it, and I love it. Thank you. And with that, like I said, we're out of here. You all have a great weekend. Oh, wait, we have more comments? I don't want to leave anybody out. Do. Yeah, Joanne, get your glue stick. It will be fun, the class. Warts and all, I am what I am. Jesse, thank you so much for the prayers. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. We got a lot coming up. So I gotta go now, people. We could you can keep me here forever. But I gotta go. Bye now. That fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.